Hello everyone! So today we're going to be reviewing this beauty right here, Wildcat by Tigers of Tang. And one of the first things I can say about this record is it was a very important album for the new wave British heavy metal movement. Um, and I'm saying this because it was a different record. It was a different album. A lot of new wave British heavy metal bands had um, punk influences, and this band, at least in my opinion, uh, didn't have much punk influences, or perhaps I would say it didn't have punk influences at all. Um, so one of my first impressions of this record when I heard it for the first time, which was a long time ago, to be honest, was I didn't like it at first because when I listened to this record, I was still getting into the new wave of British heavy metal movement, and the first one of the first things I've noticed was, whoa, this doesn't sound as punkish as the other new wave British heavy metal bands. And it sounds a little bit more hard rockish. So, you know, it got me a little bit of time for me to get into it. And after a while I changed ideas, and I'm very happy that I did because this is a fantastic record. Uh, I would say that my favorite song on this record is the first one, Euthanasia, and perhaps my second favorite is Wildcats, and my third is Susie Smiled, which was the heat of the record. Um, this record has very, very talented musicians. I really like the vocals in particular, which at first I didn't like at all. Jess Cox vocals at first for me were not very attractive, were not very well. It didn't really fascinated me, but after a while I started to get used to it, and I started understanding what Tigers of Tang were about, if you know what I mean. To get, I started to understand what Tigers of Tang were trying to do here. And if you notice, or at least in my opinion, they were one, they were not the first band, but they were one of the first bands perhaps to have this more hard rockish sound in the new wave British heavy metal movement. Because for me, in the new wave British heavy metal movement, everything was it, it was very much towards punk and very much towards Black Sabbath, and these guys pretty much changed it all. They made the new wave British heavy metal um, sound a little bit different. And as I have told you previously in this channel, new wave of British heavy metal for me is not a genre; it's a movement because it includes a lot of genres. In a way, each band is very different, although most of them have a lot of punk and Black Sabbath doomish influences. Um, but I can show you the aesthetic of this record. I really like the cover of this album. It's fascinating, very detailed. You can see the yellow. The yellow is very strong. The yellow of the eyes is very strong. These colors, this palette is very intense. Um, reddish and yellow, reddish colors. like magenta and mid-red and pink tones, and then you have yellow and orange, white. It's a very minimal palette if you actually look at it, but it made a fantastic picture and very detailed. Um, I don't know who made the artwork. It says here, Cream Company. Never heard of it. Um, and these are the pictures in the back. Very interesting, I guess. I don't know. I actually don't know how to differentiate. Oh, I can't differentiate them because, well, here are they. And, yeah. Oh, another thing. This record right here. I really love this record, but it has an issue. This was given by a friend of mine because he didn't want it. And do you know why he didn't want it? Because the front, the A side, you can't hear shit. You can't hear shit on the A side. It's all scratched. I tried to clean it, doesn't get out. It's a very, this record is not in good maintenance, and it's shit, unfortunately. And I'm sorry if I'm saying this on YouTube, but it's true. It's totally, I don't like it. And thank you. And I might do another review soon, so see you guys later or some shit. Bye bye.